Hi guys, this is a video about my G3258 Pentium CPU and the fact that I lost the ability to overclock it in the new Microsoft Windows 10. At first I thought that this is just a random issue, a bug or something like that, but I've searched a little bit online, and after a pretty quick and short search I found lots of people having exactly the same problem with this CPU and cheaper motherboards. We are not talking here about Z motherboards, we are talking about H and B motherboards. But these were the only motherboards where it actually made sense to buy the G3258 for, because you cannot buy a really cheap CPU and buy a really expensive motherboard to overclock that CPU on. It doesn't make any sense. So this for me was the single reason that I made the step from my AMD CPU to this Intel CPU. The fact that I could overclock it on a cheaper motherboard. I did not have enough money for a really expensive one, motherboard and CPU, and I did not want to have a lower end i3 with probably somewhat similar performance, but not quite, because it's hard for me to explain. I had an AMD CPU that had similar performance to some i3s, but it was a quad core, and I'm not really a heavy multitasker, so I need single core performance more than multi-core performance, and i3s have better performance than this G3258, but with 2 cores and hyperthreading. That doesn't help me at all. I need single core performance. That is what makes my PC really snappy. That is what I like, and I bought this Intel chip and this motherboard exactly for that reason, sorry. And the fact that Intel and Microsoft together took this away from me, it really bothers me. So this is, for example, is on an ASRock forum, where they tell you that they actually put out new BIOS versions for this, so you will not be stuck on that annoying reboot loop. That was not a bug like I first thought. This was something done intentionally by Microsoft and Intel. They actually put a DLL file, DLL, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Let me try and see if it's here, some information about that DLL file. Probably not. Yeah, I will search it a little bit. Actually, this reboot loop, it's caused intentionally, so you have to upgrade your BIOS and lose your overclocking ability. It's not a bug, so it's probably something they will not fix, only if a lot of people insist on fixing this, and they annoy a lot of people with this, and from what I see they do annoy a lot of people, but probably we are, I don't know, too little of the money they make on CPUs or on Windows. So I'm not really sure if this will ever be fixed, but they are missing something else. Me, for example, and probably many others, would have not changed that my old motherboard and CPU without being able to overclock. So they actually sold one CPU to me and one motherboard that they would have not sold otherwise. So why take away my ability to overclock? It makes no sense. I will not buy a more expensive CPU and I will not buy a more expensive motherboard. I will do my best to go around this problem. If I am unable, I have no idea. I will go back to AMD. They have never done this to me. Go to Linux on this PC, not on my other PCs. They are running Windows 10 perfectly, but on this one, probably Linux. I have no idea. But it really bugs me that I've paid some money for a reason and now they take away this reason intentionally, without even saying this. So yeah, it's pretty stupid. Let me just try and search the delay. You can see here people talking about that. So this started happening with not only with the final build of Windows 10, even with okay, here I think it is. This is the file that's causing the problem. So they started doing this with earlier Windows builds, not only with the final one. So they clearly had time to fix it, but they didn't want to, because this was their goal, to make us unable to overclock our CPUs. And clearly G3258 at stock speed is slow. Now my PC is really slow and it's annoying me, but not enough to take money out of my pocket and give it to Intel. Never again. I understand that I took some chances buying a cheaper motherboard that was not meant directly for overclocking, but when you had something, you say it was a bug. People could overclock CPUs on those motherboards because of a bug. I'm not really sure about that. You can't have a bug. I don't think, I don't know who put out these motherboards first. Maybe Asus, then ASRock, something like this. A few companies put out these motherboards. I don't think they found that bug, like Intel says it was a bug, and they put out motherboards without Intel knowing about this. And they actually made a few BIOS updates that allowed overclocking, and Intel didn't know about this for a whole year. No, they actually let this happen because they wanted to sell even those cheaper CPUs and motherboards. But now they are stopping this, and they are thinking probably, okay, people will now buy our i3s or I don't know, lowest end i5s. No, it doesn't work like this, Intel. It's not fair. I know I took my chances, but I prefer to go with AMD because they have not done this to me. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Sorry people for the rant, but I can't understand stuff like this. So now I will actually try and overclock my CPU using this guide here. I will put all of these links that I found in the description of the video. Some people reported this working, so they could overclock on Windows 10. Some said it did not work for them. I will try, see my luck. If it doesn't work, I will try and go back to Windows 8.1. Some say that even on older Windows version this starts happening because Microsoft is rolling out updates to do the same like what happened on Windows 10, so that kind of sucks in my opinion. But yeah, I will do my best to go around this. And yeah, another good thing that I saw on many forums, it seems that if you disable one of the cores, even if you don't do what is said here and rename the offending file, with one single core enabled, not overclocked, just enabled, you can still boot into Windows. If I try to put back my BIOS version now and boot into Windows, my old BIOS version, it will not boot. It will restart in a loop again and again. But if I disable one of the cores, it seems that I am able to boot into Windows. And if they do something in a new Windows update to put this file back, even if I rename it, I will disable one of my cores and get back into Windows and try to remove it again. If that would not have worked, it would have been bad for me, because I would have to upgrade my BIOS again to the new version, lose all my overclocking settings just to get back into Windows and remove this, and then put my old BIOS again on the motherboard, and that would have been too complicated for me and too annoying. So that's pretty helpful, being able to boot into Windows with one single core. And yeah, I don't know what are they thinking. Why would you do marketing like this? I know that you think that you are losing money, but I don't see the same. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but it's really sad, because I can see many people on these forums have these problems, and I'm positive that if they would have more money, they would not use this CPU. But as they don't have more money, I'm considering Microsoft and most of all Intel did a very bad thing by doing this. You shouldn't hurt people like this. Yeah. So sorry again guys for the rant, but I'm really, I don't know, annoyed by this problem and sad at the same time. So yeah, at least they could have said the reason of this error. This was the error that I got, and I thought, okay, a bug. Yeah, let me try and do something about it. Now I understand it's something intentional, and they could have at least said no overclocking allowed anymore on the G3258, something like this, but they don't. So that clearly sucks. But yeah, what can you do? So yeah guys, I will try to follow this information and see if I can get my CPU back. Okay guys, I've decided to try and do this on video, so it's easier for you too. Go into your Windows System 32 folder and search for MC Update. You should probably get at least these two files. This is the one we are interested in, genuine Intel, and we have to add .back or .old, something to the extension, so Windows doesn't find this file anymore. You could actually delete it, but it's safer to just change the extension. But Windows will not allow us to do this, so we have to take ownership. We go to properties for this file, security, advanced. You probably have trusted installer here and owner trusted installer. We need to change this, and you can enter here the name of the user you are logged on to now. Just be careful to spell it right. My PC is HTPC. You see, okay, no, sorry. Check names. It found it. Okay, and now I'm the owner of this file, so Windows will allow me to change the name. It tells me I've taken ownership of that. So now it should allow me to change the name. It doesn't matter, small, big letters. I will use caps because I want to remember what I did here. It's not something normal. So yeah, continue. Okay. You require permissions. Maybe I forgot to do something. I did not do this previously. Oh, sorry. Previously. So yeah, HTPC owner. Intel users. Full control. Maybe, probably I need here. Yes, so I'm giving the users full control. I'm not sure if this was yes, okay, okay. Not sure if this was on this in this guide. Yeah, make sure full control. So yeah, I've kind of missed a step before. Now we have renamed this file, so Windows will not be able to find it again. At this point I will stop the video for a moment, just to write my old BIOS version and see if I can boot into Windows with that. I'm not sure if you saw this before. Let me just start CPU-Z for a moment. Mainboard. Where is BIOS? 1.9. This does not allow overclocking. Old one 1.8 allows overclocking, so that's the one that I want. And yeah, all these problems are due to, if you find on your motherboard manufacturer's website a new BIOS with something like upgrade microcode 19 or something similar to that, microcode 19, that's the problem. So yeah, if you see that, bye bye overclocking. And just another thing I wanted to show you and I forgot before. This is my old CPU. You can see here it was making about 3.5 points. This was a quad-core CPU, 3.2 GHz overclocked, and the G3258 at stock speed is weaker than that CPU, 2.7 points. with only 2 cores, and overclocked with only 2 cores, it's more powerful than that CPU that has 4 cores. So this for me means my PC is feels way faster and way snappier when I'm in Windows, browsing the web, doing home use stuff, not gaming. I'm not talking about gaming. I game very rarely and I'm not extremely interested about extreme performance and really high quality graphics there. I use the graphics quality where my CPU and graphic card work at decent frame rates, and that's good enough for me. But in Windows I need higher clock speeds to feel the computer snappier. So this is the reason I bought this CPU and motherboard, and Intel clearly has failed me. So yeah, I hope this is fixed now, and be right back. Yes guys, you can clearly see I'm in Windows 10 on the old BIOS. So this is not a bug, this is not something that cannot be fixed, this is something they are doing intentionally. I have no more words for this. So hopefully you can follow my steps, or the steps in the links that I will put below the video, to fix, if you have this problem, to fix yours too. But it kind of sucks, really sucks. So I don't know, if you have this problem, please write in the comments, write on the forums, let Microsoft and Intel know we hate this and it's not right what they did. So you can see I'm not overclocked yet. I will reboot again and set my overclocking settings to see if it's working, because some people reported that they were lucky and actually Windows was installing even with 2 cores, but not with overclocking settings. For me, I wasn't lucky, it did not work at all. With 1 core I didn't even try, but most people said with 1 core it's working whatever you do. But I want to see if I'm lucky and overclocking works again, not just booting into Windows on stock frequency. So yeah, be right back in a moment. Well guys, it seems I got my CPU back and working like it did before. 4.5 GHz overclock without absolutely any issues on the old BIOS version. So it's clearly, without any doubt, something done intentionally to stop us from overclocking on some products that we already paid for. And probably they knew about this, what they call overclocking bug, that allowed people to overclock on lower end motherboards. This wasn't a bug. We are not little children to believe this. So yeah, follow this guide or the guides in the links, comment, like, dislike, subscribe for future videos, and yeah, this is the situation with this CPU at the moment, and I hope they will not put out a new Windows update that will change something to make it impossible to rename that file, because then I would clearly have to give up on Windows, go back to older version, and even if those don't work, Linux. I'm not a Linux fan. I've used it a couple of times, but if I have to, I will go to Linux instead of buying a new motherboard or CPU, or using the CPU at stock frequency where it's it's a pig of a CPU at that frequency. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and bye.